Fit Pros, what's up? Welcome to the DTF podcast, Down to Fitness with Dayton McPherson and Kyle Radoon. Welcome to the first episode. Today, what we'll be doing is sharing a little bit of background information about myself and Kyle. Kyle, introduce yourself to the Fit Pros out there.
What's up, everybody? I am Kyle Radoon. I just want to add a little bit there. I think something that's really important for us and why we built this podcast really was this mission of ours to provide quality information for fitness professionals to help advance their careers through sales, training styles, communication methods, as well as personal growth to become the best fit pro they can be. What does that really mean? We've spent so many years with personal trainers, fitness professionals. A lot of smart people come out of classes, get degrees, got certifications, and then they tend to not always work out as far as the sales, building their business, building relationships, some of those things that really kind of are overlooked in the education bodies of some of the personal training stuff. So Dayton and I here have built our professional careers helping other trainers, and we were looking to expand beyond our own companies. So you want to add a little to that, Dayton?
Yeah, I think it's really important to note that when a lot of personal trainers get into this industry, it's kind of like up in the air. They don't really know what to expect. They think they're going to go in and work 40 hours and make six figures, which is definitely possible. Like we're going to talk about that later in some episodes. And I think it's important to educate people about kind of the challenges when you come into this industry and also the success stories that we've had too. Like this is a very tough industry to get into. Everybody thinks you get a certification, you're going to a gym, you're getting tons of clients right away. And nobody ever tells you certain things that you got to be good at sales. You have to be interpersonal. You got to work when other people aren't. And I just wanted a platform to kind of, instead of just educating Gen Pop about how to exercise. So we're teaching you how to exercise your business, exercise for your fitness. How's that?
I love that because that's it, right? It's programming for your business, having a plan for success. But I would say it doesn't really stop there either, because yes, once you have clients, once you have a successful business, how to program, how to keep your clients, retention, referral programs, those are all things that we're going to touch on as well. So not just the sales aspect of it, even though that's probably one of the biggest things we see, right?
Mm-hmm. So I think what we'll do, a little bit of background about each other. I'll go ahead and start first, kind of who I am. I won't tell you my life story, but so they know why we kind of know what we're talking about sometimes, and not just like, oh, why the heck am I listening to this person here? So I'll go first. So my name is Dayton McPherson. I'm originally from Maine. I currently live in Connecticut now. Started in fitness in about 2014, started my career at Boston Sports Club, was there for about a year. When I moved to Connecticut, I started to work at HealthTracks Fitness and Wellness, 17 different locations across the Northeast, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Rhode Island. Currently in my position, I am the Assistant VP of Fitness, as well as being a general manager at a club in North Haven, Connecticut. Being a personal trainer, doing about 10 to 15 hours a week of in-person training, as well as being the lead educator for HealthTracks University, which is our version of this podcast, how we can educate our coaches to be better in life and just be very successful in what they do. More personal note, awesome. I do CrossFit as well as just regular exercise and bodybuilding, stuff like that. Yeah, that's about it. Kyle, tell me about yourself, buddy.
I'd love to. So yeah, like Dayton said there, we're going to probably dive into a little more individual stories and things on, why we got into fitness. Cause I think my story of how I ended up in fitness is pretty fun. But as far as kind of how we got started in our careers, just like Dayton, that's where we met at HealthTracks. So a lot of years of working with other trainers, managing other trainers, very quickly realized when I got in the industry that I wanted to help people. I helped a lot of people, but I could only help as many people that fit in my schedule. So even if you had 40 clients and you train them all twice a week, and that's 80 hours a week, plus the programming, all that, you could really only help 40 people. when I started getting into some management and working with a team of trainers, I realized if I can help 15 trainers and they can actually successfully help 15 times that 20 to 40 clients, I had a much bigger outreach. So when I got into management, I found myself much more fulfilled training trainers, knowing that they were going to help their clients be a little more successful. And we know the success rate of clients is not that high with personal training. So just to get people the success and the results that they're looking for. And that's really where I find my passion is helping trainers. So met Dayton, and we had a very similar ideology for, personal growth and professional growth. And we got together to build this program that we were training all of our trainers at the company. And right before COVID, actually, we were working with Ace Fitness to get ourselves accredited and build an actual organized CEUs for this program. Fortunately, COVID kind of broke that up. I moved to Florida, and now this is why we are doing a podcast halfway across the country on streaming, because we can't get in the same room anymore, but that doesn't mean we can't deliver that same education.
Yeah, this podcast is really just so Kyle and I can talk to one another. No, but Kyle's right. We really just want to educate pros out there, and we'll get a little bit more into who we are and why we're kind of doing this. I think it's always important to note for individuals why we got into Gen Pop training. So both Kyle and I don't train any athletes. Most of my clients and the clientele that we see at Health Tracks are of the older population, usually anywhere upwards of 40, 50, 60, 70. We even have some people that are 90 years old. So I think it's important that you have to find your niche and how you can help people. I'll be the first to admit that I am not the best personal trainer out there. Most people can really train or out-train me. But if we're working with people who don't have any sort of fitness background, they're coming into us with very limited knowledge, the simplest things make so much of a difference for these people. Sit, stand, like get down on the ground, like stepping over things, like that's really important for just those like daily active lives that those people want to live. And Kyle will tell you that when we start to meet with these people, those are the things that they tell us that they want to do. They want to go up a flight of stairs without using the railing. They want to be able to carry their groceries into their house without assistance. They want to be able to get up off the ground and play with their grandkids. So once you find that niche that you really have a passion for and you can help those people, like it's hard to step away from that niche. And, from me, I love training that population way more than I would like training athletes, way more than I would like coaching like a CrossFit class or anything like that. I'm just obsessed with those like super simplistic movements that they couldn't do 6 months ago, that as fit pros were like, oh, that's so easy. Like you can't get up off the ground. It's like, well, these people can't, and they need it more than increasing someone's vertical jump who plays football or something like that. So that's Absolutely. Why I really like working with Gen Pop. I don't know if you wanted to add anything to that, Kyle, and kind of like why you prefer that group of people.
Well, so it's great that you say that, because yes, when it comes to Gen Pop, and if we're making a comparison, Gen Pop versus like athletes, then Gen Pop all the way. Don't get me wrong, I love athletes. I train like an athlete myself. You mentioned like CrossFit and some of the high intensity stuff. Do I dabble in that for myself? Sure. Do I do it with my friends? Yes. Do I have clients that are aspiring to be performance athletes? Sure. They're a lot of fun. You can do some cool stuff with them. Get some good Instagram clips. But at the end of the day, if I work with you as an athlete for 9 months and you shave 1/10 of a second off your 40 time, I'm proud of you. Absolutely hardest thing you have to do. However, that pales in comparison to the 78-year-old woman that tells me that she wanted to be able to get down on the ground and play with her new grandchild, crawl around on the floor and get back up on their own. So when it comes down to something like that, there is nothing that compares to that kind of the feeling, that passion that comes through to be like, wow, I really helped this person change their life.
Yep. Absolutely. So Kyle, how did you and I meet? Let's talk about that
Oh,
for a little bit here. Like a little hazy to me when we were first talking about it. I just knew like I met Kyle at Health Tracks. That's like all I could remember. I didn't know the first place that we met. I remember all of our interactions after that, but let's kind of talk about how we met and how we really clicked and connected
well,
with one another.
that's funny because so obviously in preparation, for the audience here, in preparation, we put some notes together and we thought, yeah, we should tell a story about how we met. Well, none of us could really tell how we actually met. We were in the company together. I know for sure that the first time I probably sat in a room with Dayton was the very first Health Tracks University. It didn't have that name, but it was the onboarding when we were new trainers. I was a new guy coming in. Dayton actually worked with the guy that started the onboarding, Matt Wright. Shout out.
I was going to say, shout out to Matt Wright.
He's definitely a mentor to us and kind of actually fast forward how we all ended up here, right? But, put us together years later when we started getting into the Health Tracks University. So I probably didn't say anything important there because I just realized now that it's the university is where it all started. So I moved back from North Carolina. I was managing a club there, and they brought us back to do this to introduce Dayton and I. So we got together and went, all right, what do our clubs need? We needed better quality trainers, but not that their trainers weren't good. They weren't producing. They weren't as successful. So, I mean, Dave, you could take it from here. What did we think we saw? What did we see we needed?
Yeah, so I really do think at every single club, it's how do we get clients, regardless of whether you're at a large box, you're at a corporate club. Like it's all about how we can help more people. And Kyle and I really dove into expanding on Health Tracks University and turning it from a 1 to a 2-day workshop to a 4-day workshop where we really get to speak with these either new fitness professionals or individuals that have been in the clubs for a long time and wanted a refresher. Like, how can we help grow your business? And it was just from exploring the different clubs, and all of them have different needs, and we kind of compiled just like, okay, these clubs are really good at retention. These clubs need more help with cold calling. These clubs need this X, Y, and Z. So we took all those factors and really wound up with like the 4-day workshop where we can dive into the needs of all of these individuals. And it works. Like, how often did we see trainers who are brand new coming in and, graduate to a fitness professional at the end? And they went from having 2 clients before they came in, and then you hear a success story 3 months later that their book is full. They have no more room. Like, they're there from 6 a.m. until 5 p.m. and they're just crushing. They're training people. They're doing small group training. Their retention is really good. And for us, like, that was the biggest pat on the back for me. Like, I didn't do the hard work. I just gave you the tools. So if you're able to take the tools, which work, by the way, if you utilize them, and then you applied it, like, to me, that was, or it still is, my favorite part of my career. Like, I can go to bed happy at night being like, I helped that person. So my fitness journey is interesting, where I started as a personal trainer and I liked training clients. Now my love is helping to train fitness professionals. How can I help you and build your book of business to the best way that I can? And it's fine if you want to be part-time, you want to work 10 hours a week, you want to work 60 hours a week, whatever that you want to do, I want to get you there. And how can I do that? What are your needs? So that's really Health Tracks University. And Kyle and I just like really connected. I know I'm riffing here, but that's all right. Like, no, I'm gonna talk for you. Like, Kyle and I are very different people, but we're also very like-minded with training and fitness and things like that. Kyle, how are you and I a little bit different? Well, if you don't mind telling everybody.
Well, I think that'll show its head pretty soon here when we start getting into the actual topics. You will find right away that Dayton and I have 2 very different personality traits, 2 different ways to go about our business. The way we generate leads, the way we handle our clients, the way we do everything is so different. However, I think the important part to notice as you listen to some of these episodes in the future here is while they're totally different, they all are rooted from the same tools that we are trying to give to you. So, you can it's all about choosing the right tool when you need it. So we have all these different tools in our toolbox. I got my favorite tools. Dayton's got his favorite tools. And what ends up happening is the trainer that finds the right tools for them is when they find their most successful. So I avoided getting into a very specific way that we're different, but
it will come out.
It's going to come out for sure. But what I want to remind people is as you see how different it is, the success is there because every trainer is unique. Every trainer is going to have their own niche. Every trainer is going to have the thing that they're most comfortable. Some people like cold calls and they don't mind making 100 phone calls to hear 99 no's, right? Some people hate being on the phone. And this is one way we're different. I have no problem walking up to you on the treadmill and starting up a conversation where Dayton would rather not have anything to do with that.
Yeah,
right.
That's super uncomfortable for me. And I've never been successful at that. And Kyle's right. I'll get on the phone. I'll do emails all day long. Like if I can have an interaction with you on the phone first, I feel more comfortable that way. And some people don't, and that's okay.
Yeah. I'm the guy that taps you on the shoulder and be like, what you working out today? What are you listening to? Oh, I love that band.
Yeah. Oh man. See, and I would hate that. Like even as a gym goer, if someone did that to me, I'd be like, dude, leave me alone. That's like I got my headphones in. But like I think what's important to note is like Kyle said, very different ways of approaching building our business. But you just pick and choose from what you're gonna learn on this podcast, what's gonna be best for you. And you take those tools and you hone your craft. And that's how you become successful. You find what works. And it's like, it's with everything, right? Different athletes, musicians, painters, like you're all still doing the same thing, but how you get there is a little bit different.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So with that, I would say we just leave that as our intro.
Absolutely.
You know what you're going to come to expect. And we're going to go right into episode 2. So hopefully you look forward to that. How to get started as a personal trainer. So we're going to kick it off right from the beginning, where you're going to want to work out, what kind of certifications you might need, what kind of experience you might want to go get. I'm super excited about this podcast, and I hope you guys are too.
Awesome. Thank you so much, everybody. Again, it's Dayton McPherson and Kyle Radun for the DTF podcast, Down to Fitness, where you will graduate from a personal trainer to a fitness professional. Thanks, everybody.